Fantasy football is here. It's time for my top 25 overall players. Now, I do need to let you know this assumes a full PPR league and 4-point passing touchdowns and no tight end premium. Now, before I get to these guys, I got to remind you again, flockfantasy.com/endgame is where you need to be this fantasy football season. You're going to get access to playing fantasy football with and against us and a chance to win cash prizes, not to mention access to bonus articles, bonus videos, bonus live streams, our rankings, endgame swag, everything you need this fantasy football season. You can find it at flockfantasy.com/endgame. 30% off if you join now. All right, so let's get into it. Number one, no surprise, Justin Jefferson was an absolute monster last year. Should be an absolute monster again this year. One of the pass heaviest offenses, the best wide receiver in football, a bottom 5 defense. Everything is there for Justin Jefferson to smash again in 2023. Right behind him, I got Jamar Chase entering that prime year 3. This is when wide receivers typically start to enter their peak. I think he's going to have the best season he's had so far, and if he stays healthy, he might even challenge Justin Jefferson for the number 1 wide receiver spot. At number 3, I'm sticking at wide receiver with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has been nothing but sensational in games with Matthew Stafford so far. His worst PPR game with Matthew Stafford in a year and a half is 11 PPR points, and that's the only time he's even scored less than 16 PPR points. He gives you the highest floor with a great ceiling. I will gladly take him at number 3. And then at number 4, I'm going another wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. We saw last year when Tua was healthy, this guy had a massive ceiling. He can win you weeks by himself. So as long as Tua is healthy, which we have to assume he will be, Tyreek Hill is going to help a lot of teams win championships. And now you're thinking, where are all the running backs? Well, at number 5, this is where I'm comfortable finally taking a running back. It's Bijan Robinson. If you've been following us this offseason, you know he's our guy. I think he can have a rookie season comparable to what Saquon Barkley did as a rookie, comparable to what Zeke did as a rookie. He's in a great spot. He's a phenomenal talent. He can do it all. I like Bijan Robinson. He's my number 1. Now, maybe you like Christian McCaffrey, who I got at number 6. I'm fine with that, too. I mean, he's at number 6. If you want him over Bijan, it's fine. We know CMC is a workhorse here in San Francisco. I think there are some concerns that people are ignoring. Number 1, he's over that touch threshold that I talk about a lot. Number 2, he has had injuries in the past. And number 3, he didn't get quite as many touches last year when Elijah Mitchell was healthy, but he's in a great offense. We know he's a great player. I like him at number 6. And then at number 7, I'm going one more running back, and that is Austin Eckler. He's back with the Chargers. He's basically on a contract year because he doesn't have a long-term deal. He's going to want to get paid next year. He's got new incentives in his contract. I think Austin Eckler has another great season this year. Now at number 8, back to wide receiver, and I know a lot of people just put Stephon Diggs here, but I got CeeDee Lamb here. This guy was the wide receiver 4 in the games Dak Prescott played last year after week 7, behind only Jefferson, Adams, and Tyreek Hill. He's an absolute stud, entering the prime of his career, and I've talked about it many times. This Dallas passing attack is going to actually be better for CeeDee Lamb than the previous one. I think he smashes this year. Then at number 9, this is where I have Stephon Diggs. I do have a little bit of concerns. We saw down the stretch last year, this offense didn't look the same. His production wasn't the same, but I think he'll be back in Buffalo. I think everything will be fine. I still think he'll be a great player. Maybe just more of a floor play than a ceiling play. Right, Nate? Then at number 10, this is where I'm comfortable with Travis Kelce. We know he's an absolute stud, a definite advantage at the tight end position, and he's basically like a wide receiver 1, even like a running back 1 in terms of his scoring. So Travis Kelce, a top 10 player for me. At number 11, I got A.J. Brown. There's some talk, people saying, oh, maybe Devonta Smith will outscore A.J. Brown this year. I don't see it. I think A.J. Brown is a phenomenal player in the prime of his career. He's the number 1 receiver here. I'll gladly take him at 11. Then at number 12, I got Jonathan Taylor. I think people are too low on Jonathan Taylor. This guy was the number 1 pick a year ago. He was the overall RB1 2 years ago. He's still a young player. He's in the prime of his career. He's got low touch totals. We should expect a big bounce back year from Jonathan Taylor. I think he puts up a top 12 season, if not even better. A couple of second-year wide receivers who seem to just be tied at the hip. At number 13, I have Garrett Wilson. I like the upgrade with Aaron Rodgers here. Obviously, it's better than Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, or Mike White. He's going to pepper Garrett Wilson with targets. This guy's an elite talent. I think he has a big second year. But then at number 14, I think Chris Olave also has a big second year. He got a nice upgrade with Derek Carr, who we also know will just pepper him with targets. Derek Carr loves to chuck it deep, which is one thing Chris Olave did very well last year. Well, he did a lot of things well. So I think both these guys have monster second years this year. Love them both. At number 14, I got the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Happy to have him as my wide receiver 1. We know he has a tremendous weekly floor, and he has decent ceiling. And the fact that Jameson Williams is going to miss the first 6 games means his target share should be through the roof to start the year and probably the entire season. So love the Sun God here. At number 16 is Jalen Waddle, and this feels like it might be a little low for Jalen Waddle, but I do have a little bit of concerns, namely that he wasn't necessarily a target monster last year with Tyreek Hill there, but this guy has big playability, can give you so many big weeks. Jalen Waddle, an absolute stud, got him at 16. At number 17, I got Saquon Barkley. I know there's some worry about a potential holdout. I don't see it. I think one way or another, he's going to play this year. He's going to be the focal point of the offense. He's going to get a zillion touches like Saquon Barkley at 17. And at 18, I have Tony Pollard. This is a guy we saw finally take over the backfield last year, wrangle it away from Dusty Zeke, and he was awesome down the stretch the second half of the season. No reason to think that'll change. The only guys behind him are Malik Davis and Deuce Vaughn. Tony Pollard, as long as he stays healthy, should smash. At number 19, you may be surprised to finally hear Davante Adams' name because he's been so good for so many years, but I think this is a year where we finally see a decline. I think he'll still be good, but not as good because, number one, it's probably going to be Jimmy G, and Jimmy G, not a good deep ball thrower at all, which is something Derek Carr could do very well for Davante Adams last year. Also, I doubt he's going to get as many targets as he got last year. That was insane. I still think Adams will be good, just not elite. Now at number 20, I did talk about him briefly, Devonta Smith, teammate to A.J. Brown. I love Devonta Smith this year. I think he's going to be great. I think A.J. Brown will be better, but I also think Devonta Smith will be really, really good. Got him in my top 20. Right behind him, my final wide receiver, T. Higgins at 21. I know everybody worries about Jamar Chase, but if you look at these two guys when they've played together, T. Higgins has still been incredibly good. He's a great talent, a great wide receiver. He's on a contract year. He's going to want to get paid next year. T. Higgins to me is basically a 1B in this Bengals offense. He's at 21. At 22, back to running back with Ramondre Stevenson. I've been talking him up all offseason. This guy's a true workhorse running back. He caught 69 passes last year. Now he should get more red zone, goal line touches with Damian Harris gone. He's got no competition behind him. It's in a great spot to smash this year. Then right behind him at 23, you may be surprised to see Nick Chubb this low because I know a lot of people are thinking Nick Chubb is going to be a league winner this year. They're way too high on Nick Chubb simply because Kareem Hunt is gone, who did nothing last year. But look, Nick Chubb's a great runner. He's going to get volume. He's going to get touchdowns. He's going to be very good. He's just not going to be as good as I think a lot of people think, but I still got him inside my top 24. And then right at 24, I have King Henry. There are some concerns here. He's coming close to that 2,000 touch mark. Last year, his efficiency got really bad. The year before, his efficiency got not so good. We're probably going to see even a greater decline in efficiency. He's in a bad offense. He has a bad offensive line, but he's going to get insane volume as long as he stays healthy. And every time they get near the goal line, every single snap goes to Derrick Henry. So he has massive touchdown upside. Got him right at 24. And then finally, at number 25, this is where I'm taking my first quarterback. And I got Jalen Hurts number 1. This guy was absolutely destroying fantasy football last year. I know a lot of people just want to pencil in Patrick Mahomes as the number 1 QB. And if my list went to 26, that would be Patrick Mahomes. But it only goes to 25. Jalen Hurts, that rushing upside, those touchdowns, man, those sneaks that he gives you, just so much weekly upside. He's the quarterback I want if I'm going quarterback this early. All right, so that's my top 25 players for 2023. But if you want to see our top 25 running backs, you can check it out right here.